No, sir. She had said that she was 18, and I found out her age when we were at a hotel, and her mother had seen her. And that's when I found out she was a runaway, and her mother told me her real age because they wanted to press charges. But her mother said if I meet her and talk with her, she would have a conversation. And that's when she told me her age and everything.
If you are familiar with this channel, then this wouldn't be entirely shocking to you. We have covered many female parole hearings, those who do the worst to little ones. We have covered hearings where those are the ones that were the handlers, taking them to hotels like clients, just goods for sale to the highest bidder. But this parole hearing, this one lands differently. She is there behind the screen, but I am not sure if there is anyone home, if there are any lights on behind those eyes. We are going to listen to someone that does not understand even how to fake empathy, that does not know how to tell the truth, and that is shockingly in ways seemingly just tied to an obsession with the man who controlled her, who made her do everything. You see, we're about to cover the parole hearing for a woman who took in a runaway. And instead of helping that runaway, what did she do? She preyed on her. Now, the pathetic, weak district attorney and judges gave this second time offender a 5-year sentence, but all suspended but 2 years and parole eligibility after serving about half of it. But that's the justice system for you. Now, again, you're going to see a hearing that will, I think, send a shiver down your spine, and I will unpack it with creepier details, as Dr. Grande says, at the end.
Chantel Combetta is your name. Your DOC number is 786-864. You are first class offender. The offense is Livingston Parish 44069, attempted trafficking of children for sexual purposes and promoting prostitution. Your sentencing date was March 11, 2024. Your sentence was 5 years, DOC hard labor, suspended all but 3 years, and then 3 years supervised probation. Your parole date is March the 20th, 2026. Your good time date, you're not eligible, and your full-time date is December the 20th, 2026. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. In your own words, will you tell us why you're here today?
To be granted parole.
Okay. Want to tell us in your own reason? Well, you said to be granted parole, but why are you incarcerated? What brought you to this point?
I was hanging with the wrong crowd and led me to do wrong things, and I made a mistake.
That's very vague. Anybody could say that. What happened?
They had we had a hotel room, and they had a person prostituting out of it, and the hotel room was in my name.
So you're saying you didn't have anything to do with it?
No, ma'am. I take full accountability for my actions.
For your actions that you rented a hotel room?
Yes, ma'am.
Staff, do you have any comments?
Chantel has been in all kinds of courses, even though she doesn't get good time credit while she's been here. AA, Bible study, living in balance, celebrate recovery, life's healing choices. She's worked in the kitchen for a long time, and then she also works at 911 and cleaning and commissary for us. She has no disciplinary record.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she does. Anything we ask her to do, she's no problem at all.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's speaks very highly of you that you wanted to be a part of those classes just for your own self-improvement. I'm glad you let us know about that. Okay, at this point, we're going to listen to supporters for you, which would be Leah Joseph, your sister.
Good morning.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning to you also.
How are you?
I'm fine.
So she's my sister and she has my full support if she's able to come home. I think she learned from her mistakes. She talks about all the good things she's done while she's there. She has a job lined up for her. She's a very good person, just was under the bad influence of just being around the wrong crowd. She has a job lined up. She would love to be home around her kids. I think she would be going to church, be involved in the community. And she has the support of me of helping her get a job or a TWIC card to get into a job, help with her children, find her a place to live.
She'll be staying with you?
I don't believe at the moment she had already made arrangements to stay with our mom, but if she was granted to stay with us, if she was allowed to stay with us, absolutely she could stay with us.
Family.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. At this time, we do have opposition, and we're going to start with opposition would be, I'm just going to read the names. Tamika White with the JDC, the DA's office, 21st, and then Michelle Sparks. She is with Tamika, and Catlin Costa. She is there also with the JDC. And speaking today will be Alexis Taylor. She is the ADA at the 21st JDC. Ms. Taylor.
Good morning.
Morning.
We at the DA's office are opposed to her release. She was responsible for escorting a 15-year-old child to a hotel to perform acts for money. It is my appreciation that the acts were scheduled through a website by the defendant's boyfriend, and the defendant would escort this victim to the location to perform the acts. And just going through the report, the victim stated that she tried to have the defendant, Chantel, not bring her to any more hotels, and that she did not want to keep doing this. However, the victim stated that Chantel made her go to the comfort suites and stated to her that she did not have choices anymore and that she had to make money for her and her boyfriend. The victim stated that once Chantel dropped her off at the hotels, she would leave her there and would not return until after all the clients were seen. So based on that set of facts, the victim's young age, the state is opposed to the defendant's early release.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Chantel, your case has been assigned to me, and I'm going to conduct the interview, and I will later cast the first vote. Well, you heard what the DA just said. What do you have to say about that?
That I'm deeply regret that the actions I have caused, and apologize for any of my decisions that I had made, and that I'm sorry to the victim and their family, my own family, and even the community.
Well, you know, when I asked you earlier to say in your own words what happened, you didn't say any of that. Just that you made a mistake and you were sorry. Is there a reason why right now, the victim said that she asked you not to make her do it any longer? Can you expand on that? What was going on that caused you to make her do it anyway?
It was I was it was a bad spot, and it was not my boyfriend defended. It was nervous. A man. He basically made me make her do it, and I went along with it. And I know I was wrong for the crime that I have committed. And if I could take it back, I would tell her that I'm very sorry, and I apologize.
Well, the gravity of human trafficking is these are all strangers.
Correct. It's a serious crime.
It is a serious crime, and at any time, the child could have been beat up.
Correct.
So, I mean, human trafficking leads to a litany of other things. It's bad enough when, when you have a child, a lot of times it's a family member, somebody they know well, and that's heartbreaking, and that's frightening also, but this is terrifying that this child went through. So did the child stay with you, or did she go back home, or how was that?
She was considered a runaway, and her mom had let her stay with me. And she went back home to her parents. I think she went to a juvenile helping center to get help. I'm not really sure. I had a stay away order, so I didn't go in contact with her in here or anything.
Well, how was it found out that y'all were doing this?
They had got caught up in the hotel. I think other people from the other rooms have reported it.
Mm.
And when I had got pulled over, they had let me know that I had a warrant. And I had served 4 months in 2022. And I had got out. They let me out on an OR. And then I just went to court every month, or whenever they had court, I went for like 2 years. And then I had to turn myself in after my plea. And I've been incarcerated since.
The victim feels like your boyfriend played a significant part in this. As far as she feels like that you didn't know how to get out of it. Was that true, how she felt?
Yes, ma'am. I was also pregnant at the time, so.
Did see that. It was with his child?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. You should know that you had support letters from family, 7 of them. From work, you had 1. So and then there was another one. So you had a total of 14 support letters, but total opposition from law enforcement. The sentencing judge had no comment to your release. I will turn it over to Ms. Ledoux. Did you have any questions?
No, I just would make note that for release, an inmate has to have pre-release and substance abuse completed. And we don't have the substance abuse shown that it's been completed. So that would not, she would not be eligible based on those things, although we could, she has a full term date in December. So I don't have any other questions or comments.
Mr. Prater?
Yes, what's the status of Joshua Johnson's charges? Do you know that?
Are you asking me, sir?
Yeah, what was?
From what I know, he's never went to court for it. I'm not really sure. He's fighting another charge in another parish.
Okay, are you willing you gonna testify against him if it comes up, or y'all still have a relationship?
No, sir, I don't have no contact with him. But
Have you had any contact with him since you've been in jail?
No, sir.
Okay. That's all the questions I have.
Okay, you can close with telling us anything else you would like us to know, consider, Ms. Combetta.
During my time incarceration, I have made personal, emotional, and spiritual changes in my life. While I can't change the past, I am proven that committed that I can show and prove that I can be someone better. Even though I'm not eligible for classes, I still took them, and completing the programs, it showed me that I'm capable of being a better person.
I do have one question for staff in the room, and Ms. Ledoux brought it up. The eligibility for parole is that we have the pre-release programming and substance abuse treatment. Is that offered to her? Was she just not, I see where she took so many other classes.
No, ma'am, we don't have that here. I know in the past when y'all ran in parole that, y'all, they were transferred to the women's prison to complete the reentry and the substance abuse over there. I think in St. Gabriel's.
Mhm.
But we had one maybe in December that went for just that.
Okay, and you're gonna be getting out in December of this year, so that would, Ms. Ledoux, that would fall in line with the time frame if we had her transferred. It's like 100 hours, right?
Yes, and yeah, I can't really speak to that. I'm sorry.
Okay, I understand. What? Okay, all right, so, I'm ready to vote at this time, and
Could I ask,
yes,
could I,
please. Yes,
I got just a couple of questions that really, because it's a tough case. Did you know this? Did you know her age? That she was underage?
No, sir. She had said that she was 18, and I found out her age when we were at a hotel and her mother had seen her. And that's when I found out she was a runaway, and her mother told me her real age because they wanted to press charges. But her mother said if I meet her and talk with her, she would have a conversation. And that's when she told me her age and everything.
Did you ever have her used after that?
No, sir.
Okay. How old were you at the time?
I was 29 or 28, about 28, turning 29.
Okay, so you were grown and you couldn't tell that she was only 15, or how old was she when she started?
She was 15 and she was going on 16. Her mother told me she was 15.
Okay. Were you doing drugs at the time?
No, sir, I never did drugs.
Were you drinking a lot?
No, sir, I don't drink.
So what excuse do you give for pimping this girl?
More so, it was it was me, but more so of the man making me. I was just in a rough situation with my kids' father.
What I have to decide, okay, I had to decide in the parole board, each one of us has to decide different things. I'm trying to decide if you get out and this guy calls you and wants to go out on a date, even though the staff and everybody you work for now thinks you have really, they probably would have said that prior to you. If you weren't doing drugs and weren't doing alcohol and they got to know you, you were probably a nice person back before you met this guy. Is that correct?
Correct. I was different from when I met him, but I have no contact and I'm not planning on having no contact with him.
Well, you're not planning on it, but you might. In other words, are you so easily led that if this guy calls you, you'd be willing to do what needed to be done?
No, sir, I wouldn't.
How much more time you got?
To December 20th of 26.
Okay, so you're looking at 11 more months.
Yes, sir.
10 more months, really. Okay. That's all I got.
Yeah, and I would like to expand on what Mr. Prater said. In our synopsis of the arrest report, it has that that you were responsible for picking up different females, and that was one of the reasons why the phone call was made, because they saw all the trafficking going on in the room. So we've got the one child, but as far as I can tell, you were very involved in picking up different females and causing them to do this. Is that correct? It wasn't just the one child.
No, ma'am. There was another. He had a girlfriend that she was 24.
Mhm.
Her and then the 15-year-old. There was no one else.
Who you knew to be a runaway, and who we know she asked you not to make her do it anymore. Am I
Correct.
correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And the reason you say you did it is because you were in a rough spot. Am I correct about that?
Yes, ma'am.
Got 11 months left. Okay.
Let me ask.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Right.
I keep getting these questions that come up. So Joshua had, that's his name, correct? Your
Yes,
fellow
sir.
you were going with, and he had another girlfriend.
Yes, we were in the part of separating. When I had got pregnant, I was 3 months with my little girl, and we were trying to separate. And he didn't want me to leave him. And I found out that he had a girl, which was his girl. Come to find out to be his girlfriend. So I was
You
putting on.
stayed. Did you stay with him after that?
No, sir. I had got 2 jobs and was going my own way.
But you were with him the night you were arrested, correct?
Yes.
But
Yes,
you said you had already left him by then.
Yes.
So if you had left him, what was if you had left him mentally, but you were still with him physically, what made you do what he told you to do?
More so nervous, scared.
How much money were you making?
I really wasn't making anything. It all went to him.
It all went to him, and
Yes.
you kept doing it, even though you decided to break up, even though you knew he had another girlfriend, and you continued to do it free. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, sir.
That doesn't make sense to me. That he had some kind of magnetic hold on you, and I'm fearful he will still have it if you're that weak. Okay, that's all the questions I got. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Are we ready to vote, panel? Mr.
I'm ready.
Okay, and Ms. Ledoux? Okay.
Ready.
This time, you have followed through with some other classes, and I'm going to try to see if you can be transferred for your pre-release programming and your substance abuse treatment, so you can get that finished before December. But I cannot, I cannot agree to, granting your parole request. The crime was just too serious. It was a runaway. She really didn't have anybody to turn to. And you said terrible choices, but you clearly made them of your own volition. You chose to make those choices. I mean, he didn't hold a gun to your head or anything like that, based upon what you said. So and you said that he hadn't even been charged with anything yet that you're aware of anyway. So my vote today is not to grant your parole. I'm going to request that they transfer you to a location where you can get your pre-release programming and your substance abuse treatment. You only got 3 years for a horrific crime. So I guess that was through a plea bargain. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So you plea bargain 3 years. So I feel like you should serve your full term. And then I'm going to request, if at all possible, that you be transferred to a location where you can get your pre-release programming and your substance abuse treatment. Mr. Prater, what is your vote?
Concur, deny. Terrible crime. I'm really fearful that she's going to continue if she doesn't get some real help and some real support. This was a terrible crime of a grown woman allowing a juvenile to go into prostitution, regardless of her status. And I appreciate the assistant DA's comments. And for that reason, my vote is to deny.
Okay.
My vote is to my vote is to deny parole. I wish you well.
Thank you.
Hey, ma'am. So today your vote has been denied. I mean, your parole has been denied.
I'm going to unpack this, but stick around until the end or use the timestamps to skip to the next parole hearing, because the next one is, even if you can believe it, creepier, roachier than this one. But first, let me unpack this with the information that I have. First of all, I am happy that the ADA was there. We can't blame her. She's not the one in charge, right? But it is a two-faced, this or whoever her boss is, that agreed to this type of plea deal anyways. The one that says 5 years, we'll suspend 3. You only have to serve 2, parole eligibility after like half of it. When we don't even this is not her first trip on the rodeo. Let me share with you. Remember how she said she had done prison time before? Well, it was for 2 arrested in connection with a deadly shooting. This was in 2020, and guess who her co-defendant was in this case? Joshua Juvan Johnson, the same man who is her co-defendant, in this case. So she's been riding with this guy for all these years, right? It seems that who knows what happens. There's a deadly shooting. Someone's killed. They're arrested. They're extradited. She does end up doing time, but like 2 months, she said, and then released. And then the same man, right? The same man is involved in this operation, and they don't take this opportunity to throw the book at her. They don't take this opportunity to finally say, you know what, enough is enough. And as you saw throughout this parole hearing, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. It's like she's a robot. And I think the sheriff was onto something, that he was poking around, trying to figure out, really, why were you doing it? Why were you doing it? She's like, you couldn't get the truth out. Well, oh, so you like him? Oh, but he's with someone else. Oh, so you're making money? Oh, but you're in a tough spot. She was caught in lie after lie. Oh, I didn't need him. I got 2 jobs. But if you're not making, you get it, the whole thing. And it's like she's obsessed with him. And say that, okay, she's the victim, right? Men, they get the control. No, she's not the victim. She is, as the Prater said, really elegantly, weak. And it's enough is enough. And something exceedingly creepy. Sir Richard found it in the research. And before I forget, thank you, Nicole, for saying, Mandoo, cover this hearing, putting in the co-defendant's name and bringing it to my attention. And then, of course, Annan with the very thorough write-up, which helps me digest the information before I even watch it. And her sister posted this and said she'll be getting out of prison soon, looking for a significant other, woman or male. And if you look in the picture, it looks like the room of a 15-year-old. And is it just a coincidence? Or is this part of her grooming behavior? Like, I don't know. You know, it's Annan had in his notes that she knew her age when she saw her mother at the hotel. So then why is her mother at the hotel? Is her mother in the same line of business? The bottom line is what the DA pointed out is that this runaway said, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. And she said, no, you're doing it. Until all the clients were for a full day, right? And this is the sentence that you give someone like this, a person who has no remorse, a person whose only care in the world is to be with their man, with the love of their life, the person who they've been committing crime with, as far as we know, August 31st, 2020. I believe that she will jump right back to him so quickly. I believe that she's not going to testify against him. I believe all of those things, right? And I don't know what's going on in Louisiana. We couldn't find information. Sir Richard checked. We really did. There's just not information even on this case. There's no news reportings on this actual case. It's just swept under the rug. We couldn't find more information, even though we have this crime, why he wasn't arrested for this, why he wasn't, and my only guess why he wasn't arrested is because she refused to testify. That would be my guess. And I think that's what the sheriff was getting at. And he's caught up in other charges by another parish, but this just goes on, in my opinion, to show, yes, the ADA was there, but if she's refusing to testify, why would they give her a sweetheart deal? It's just bizarre. It really is. I think to Louisiana, they just didn't care about this case much. Like, just another runaway. But for me, the creepy factor, it really does. It just, there was something extraordinarily creepy. I'm using the word creepy a lot in this hearing, as Dr. Grande says, exceedingly creepy. I don't know how else to describe it. It was just her aura, her blank, nothing there stare and monotone voice, like just rehearsing through the motions. Like I believe in her mind, she knows she needs to just get through this. It's like, I'm just going to do what I need to get through this. And there's nothing else matters. Nothing really makes a difference. And she's going to continue to create victims. We're about to see another parole hearing this is one of the crazier ones that we've seen. And I know that anyways, that's enough. Let's just jump in.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Mason John. My DOC number is 733180.
Okay, thank you. Okay, at this time, I'm going to be introducing some information in the record. And when I'm finished, you can let me know if anything I've said is incorrect and we will correct it. Your name is Mason James John. Your DOC number is 733180. You're a first-class offender. Your offense is indecent behavior with a juvenile. Your sentencing date was May 14th, 2018. Your sentence was 20 years in Louisiana Department of Corrections. All but 16 were suspended, and the first 2 are to be served without benefit of probation, parole, or suspension of sentence, with credit being given for time served. Upon release, John was placed on supervised probation for a 3-year period for concurrent to his parole. Your parole date is February 28th, 2019. Your good time date, you are not eligible. Your full-time date is November the 1st, 2029. Is all of that correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We do not have it. If staff comes in, will you please let me know?
I can go grab him if you need him.
No, well, later he might want to make a statement concerning your time there with them. So,
Yes. While we were waiting, he just said he was going to step outside the door and let him know if we needed him.
okay, that's fine. All right, you have no supporters present and you have no opposition present. Your case has been assigned to Ms. Jerry Ledoux. She will conduct the interview and she's going to cast the first vote. Ms. Ledoux, would you like to begin?
Yes, Mr. John, did your family know that you were having a hearing today?
Yes, ma'am. I didn't get the paper to be able to tell them in time because they sent it to the wrong facility. I just received it like 4 days ago.
Okay, so would they be, do you think that they would be here if they had known?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is a rehearing for you. You had a parole hearing in 2018 in which you were denied unanimously and instructed that you needed to take some programming. I know that you did get your GED since that time, and I'm confused. Have you taken phases 1 and 2 of the sex offender treatment, or all 4?
I've taken all 4 of them.
Okay, all 4. And I know you've taken anger management.
Yes, ma'am.
You're a trustee.
The jail I'm currently in right now, I am not, because I asked the warden when I was at BDCC, Bayou Dorsey Correctional Center. I asked him to move me closer to home, and I'm currently in DC2, which is a trustee facility, and I'm waiting to be able to be put into a job.
Okay, so let's see, when was that transfer made?
August.
In August, yeah, August, you were transferred. Okay, and what about your conduct? Have you had any write-ups since you've moved over, or?
I have not had a write-up in 12 years.
Okay, so you've been in 12 years of your 16.
Ma'am.
Okay. I read the file. You fathered a child as a result of this?
Yes, ma'am.
I want to hear from you what you think the impact of this has had on your victim.
Other than it changing her life, I can't necessarily say for the better, but I regret my actions. She's had opportunities to express herself to family members that have spoken to me about it. And while she says that she doesn't regret the child, I can't say that I was right. Like, my actions were completely wrong, and what I did to her was completely wrong. I understand I had a lapse in judgment, and I should have known better. I changed her life in a way that wasn't my place to even be there. I wasn't right for anything that I did to her. And really and truly, I just wish that there was a way that I can make amends with her to be able to help her to get over her past. Because she deserves to be happy. She deserves to be able to enjoy her life.
So have you had any contact? Do you know what's
Ma'am?
with her? Have you had any contact with her?
2020, she reached out to me and spoke to me. That was while I was in Angola whenever I was dealing with COVID.
Okay. I see your residence plan is to go right back to Elton. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know where she lives?
My understanding is she lives in Jennings.
Very close. Uh, I don't have any other questions. You know, this is baffling to me why we have to sit here and talk about these things. I mean, you knew her age.
No, ma'am,
You
I
knew
didn't.
you were related.
I wasn't raised with them. I never knew none of them until I was 17.
Oh, you committed this at 19.
Because I was in and out of the picture of my sperm donor. And I never was around them.
Okay. I'd offer for my colleagues if you'd like to take up the questioning.
Mr. Prater?
What? Explain sperm donor to me. What was that comment?
The sperm donor is the person that fathered me, allegedly, but was never in the picture.
Okay. So that was your absent natural father, I guess would be another way to put it, although you don't refer to him as father, I understand.
Yes, sir. They'd never done a DNA test to prove whether he was my dad or not.
Okay. But you didn't, at 19, you didn't realize this was a little girl you were messing with at 12?
No, sir. The night that it happened, we were drinking. I really didn't know her age until I went to jail and got my discovery.
Yeah, but it's according to the statement, it's more than just having sex with an underage 12-year-old. It was forced on her.
I have paperwork that states differently. My intake charge says that it was consensual.
That's not possible with
Yes.
12 by law. It's not even possible. So don't go there.
Yes, ma'am. I understand what the law states.
Mhm.
Stating for the record what the intake charge by the district attorney stated.
Okay. Okay, I don't have any other questions really. I'm perplexed. You seem like a educated person. I don't understand how this could even happen, but anyway, that's all I got.
Yeah, to expand on Mr. Prater, the child said that you put your hand over her mouth because she was screaming and asking you to stop. So, really, you can tell when you're with a 12-year-old and she's begging you to stop, and she ended up pregnant. And that all happened on Christmas that you did this to this child. So it was a heinous crime against another human being. And it was billed as aggravated to the grand jury, and that was the charge. So I don't have any further questions. Are we prepared to vote?
Mr. John, would you be considered a sperm donor now?
Really?
Unfortunately, because I have more than just that child. I have a daughter as well. And due to my actions, I'm unable to be in either one of them's lives. So I can't say that I was right. I was wrong all the way around the board, and I understand that. It's taken me 12 years in prison to come to terms with everything I've been through. And I'm just asking for an opportunity to prove that I'm not who everybody said I was.
Can I share, Mr. John, you're doing good things in prison. I don't discount that. But I believe that your answers to some of these questions have illuminated maybe a lack that of true understanding. Have you had victim impact? Do you understand what this does to someone? The impact on the victim is significant. And you want to say something. What do you want to say?
I wish y'all could read all the messages that she has sent me.
That does not give you the right to do that.
I understand my actions. I understand everything that y'all are telling me. But the picture that was painted to the courts and the picture of what she says to me, every facility I have been at since 2020, she has contacted me. The child has contacted me.
Okay. Well, I'm prepared to vote, Mr. John, today. My vote is to deny parole. And I do wish you well. I believe that you're not fully prepared for reentry. And so that's my vote today.
Okay, Mr. Prater.
I concur. I'm troubled by this, by the whole thing, and I appreciate some of the comments, but I'm still troubled by, got a pretty good deal anyway, getting released after that amount of time on impregnating a 12-year-old. Think he needs to go ahead and continue where he is. Didn't I?
Yes. Okay, so my vote today also is to deny. You have law enforcement opposition with the DA, the judge, the sheriff, and the attorney general's office. Some of the explanation, I hope that the child that now is older, that skews a child's view of life, what you did. And she became pregnant at the age of 12. So she quite likely doesn't have a clear understanding in the future of what you did and who you were in this to her. So I hope she got counseling, a lot of it. And if they don't know about it, she can get free counseling through the Child Advocacy Center. She can get it through Crime Victims Reparations. Some people just don't know those things exist. So if anybody's listening, including her, I hope you go for counseling to help you work this out in your mind and the child that is a result of this, because as you said, the child is having contact with you. So I've already said my vote is to deny, and it is because the heinous nature of the crime and law enforcement opposition. So today you have been denied, and we are signing off at Rapides Parish Detention Center. And the closing out time is 11:55. This concludes.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you that this hearing actually could be worse than the prior one? And it's like you can't. Okay, where do we start? Where do we go? Let's start with saying that he admitted to multiple crimes at this parole hearing. I don't know why the parole board didn't call him out for that. He first goes on to like play it off that he hasn't had any contact, and then in his anger, which you felt anger, right? You felt rage through the phone. He couldn't control himself. And I love how Miss Ledoux let him, instead of wanting to hear her own voice, she at one point stopped and said, "Oh, you want to say something?" And he goes on to say, "She's been contacting me at every facility since 2020. So you just admitted to having contact with your victim for 6 years straight." Something else that was weird. Weird's probably not the right word, but just very, the way that he said, the child's contacting me. And, you might say he doesn't know, he doesn't want to say the child's name out of, no, but it wasn't that. It wasn't that. It's that child. And, it could have been creepy if he said my daughter or my son, but he could have said it a different way. He could have said it a different way. And I don't know. The whole thing is obviously, and I think they were hinting to, alluding to, I'm only speculating on a situation like this. There's not going to be research available for cases like this, but the way that it was said, and I thought this was handled brilliantly. It's nice not having Tillis on the board with them three. This might be the elite of the elite for today's board, having Stapleton, Ledoux, and Prater. I mean, you could swap Ledoux for Miss Renatza. But it's good. This was pretty good. And they were each coming in the right and the left and the right and the left and letting him also get and it's like they had like mic drop after mic drop after mic drop, and but still allowed him to expose himself for the monster that he is. I think that it's possible that it's like his sister or his half sister. And again, I'm just speculating, just in the way that the conversation went. And they're like, "How did you not know how old she was? She's a relative." And he's like, "Well, my sperm we don't even know with the whole family and da da da." And then they're like, he slipped up. I don't know if you caught it, but he said, "I didn't know her age," but he said, "But you knew her for 2 years." I can't recall what it was, but he said that you met her when you were 17. This happened at 19.
I never knew none of them until I was 17.
Oh, you committed this at 19?
And so he met her when she was 10. He was 17. 2 years into it, he knows everything. He knows they're related. He knows how old she is. And does it on Christmas Eve. The charge is aggravated SA, which is the highest charge in Louisiana for this type of offense. It carries a life sentence. Now, the district attorney, the judge, they of course have everything they need. They have the smoking gun, they have a baby. They're holding all the cards. They can sentence him to whatever they want at this point. And they decide to give this prince a deal. They give him 16 years. I'm not sure why. It's hard for me to understand. It is. The generational harm, the altering of lives, and I mean, just everything. Everything. And they said, we don't really want to go to trial. I know it's impossible to lose the trial. I know that we'll get him for whatever we want, but let's not lock this guy up for life. It's just not nice. And what you end up with, though, and I think that you can see this coming because he's going to get out his full term date 2029. So he's already done. And this is amazing, too. This was his second parole hearing. His first one was in 2018 before we were covering it. Otherwise, we'd show it to you. And there's a 5-year break that you have to wait for these type of cases. So it seems that he even waited longer than normal. No one in his family showed up. Thank God, that he was lying about them not. He just said he has no support, clearly. He has no family that actually cares for him, or, the whole thing must just be a wreck. Tanks' parole hearing. He's going to be getting out no matter what on his full term date in 2029. And I'd say you just have to be terrified. Terrified for his victim. And that's the problem when you give these type of leeway deals, because you can just picture it now. I could just see it, and it's horrifying to think about. But she's going to be prey to him. Of course, she's older now, and the baby, for God's sakes, is going to be 19 years old. An adult, right? No, 16. I guess 16 years old, not 19. You could have even said they could have the prosecution could have said, why give 20 years, reduce it to 16? At least give it long enough for the baby to be an adult. But you could feel his anger and his rage, and it only just it makes me terrified. Terrified for even the child. I don't know if it's the whole thing is terrifying. I could just this just doesn't feel right. Did you not feel his anger through the screen? So I don't know. It was a great job by the parole board. Really a terrifying parole hearing. Someone who in a very short amount of time, it takes a skill to in their parole hearing where they need to be at their best, where they only need to spend a small amount of time trying to say the right things, trying to show empathy, and he just completely implodes. And this is him on his best behavior. It doesn't take a wild imagination to think what he will do when he gets out in 2029 and the rage, the anger, the pent up from him feeling like the victim, from him saying it's your fault, from the wrath that he's going to bring upon his victims and his next victims. Let's not forget, he's a chomo. He's a chomo who's already spent much of his life in prison, and it's just maybe he'll just go back. It's just, and he'll be in somewhere in the middle of Bumbleville, nowhere, with access to his children's friends. If he gets the whole thing is it's just a nightmare waiting to happen. And these pathetic DAs, they can't even show up in opposition. They can't care less. And this is it. This is where you see just the absolute insanity of the system, where there is no empathy for victims, and there's no like even just passion for their jobs. Imagine being a prosecutor and seeing this show up on your door and saying, I would like to show up. I'd like to take 10 minutes. Okay, listen, an hour out of my day to make sure that I'm there to talk on behalf of this 12-year-old girl. But they don't. And with that, I'll let you go.
How much money were you making?
I really wasn't making anything. It all went to him.
It all went to him, and
Yes.
you kept doing it, even though you decided to break up, even though you knew he had another girlfriend, and you continued to do it free. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, sir.
That doesn't make sense to me. That he had some kind of magnetic hold on you, and I'm fearful he will still have it if you're that weak.